welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be actually talking about a new series I'm going to be doing on my channel, and it's going to be called a Yap Session. So if you look at the title, it says Yap Session number 1, and I'm going to go until 20, maybe 200. I'm just going to be talking about random topics. For an example, I think today's topic is going to be how I got into Call of Duty, what was my first ever Call of Duty game, my experience, all of that stuff. Obviously I'm going to be talking about it off the dome. I don't have a script or anything like that I'm going off of. This is basically a OG cut com where I'm just talking about a random subject and having gameplay in the background. I'm playing at the same time, so I might go silent in a few spots of the video. I'll try not to though. Anyways, back to the subject for today, which is of course my first ever Call of Duty game. My first ever COD is Black Ops 1. I think I bought it a few months after it came out. I don't quite remember, to be honest. Other than that though, it was Black Ops 1, and I think I was, I don't know, 7 or 8, something like that. And it was an entirely new game for me as well. I have never played a shooter before that. I've only played sports games. So like back in the day when it was FIFA, I played Madden, I played 2K, I played WWE, stuff like that, like Raw versus SmackDown. I played games like that. I was never really into shooters, so I never really got to experience Halo 1, Halo 2. I did experience Halo 3, obviously. I remember getting the game as well. I ended up getting it at Best Buy, which is very weird if you think about it, because most of you guys' first Call of Duty was probably from GameStop. I mean, that doesn't really matter because the game is the game. It's not anything different, but I just feel like that's a weird detail to include. And it was for the Xbox 360. Basically, I think the first thing I did, obviously, I bought the game, came home, I ripped it open. And mind you, like I said, it was my first ever shooter, so I had no idea what I was doing. So I was lost. I didn't know what any guns were. I don't know what guns were called. I had no knowledge of the game. So I think my first couple games, obviously I got absolutely slammed, and I was just terrible that whole time, to be honest. Like, I was never good at Call of Duty. I didn't buy the game, I hop on the sticks and I was godlike. Like, that was not a thing at all for me. Like, I bet there's some people out there that are watching this video and they hopped on the game for the first time ever and they were absolute dogs at it. Not me, bro. I was terrible. I didn't know you could jump shot. I didn't know you can drop shot. I didn't know any of those things were real until I started watching videos on it. But after I got over that hump, I started playing with friends, family, whatever it may be. And the person that actually got me into the game was one of my cousins. So shout out to him if he's ever watching this video. Probably not. That's how I got into Call of Duty. I played it at my cousin's house one time and I was like, well, yo, what game is this? It looks insane, because I've never seen a shooter game in my life. And once I found out, I got it bought for me, and that's when it all started, man. Was an insane experience. Like, I didn't know nothing about prestiging. Like, once I hit max level, which was I think 50 at the time, I was like, what, you can prestige? And then I read it and it said you lose everything. I was like, oh, I don't really want to prestige. I didn't know the dopamine part of that back in the day, like prestiging and getting to max prestige. Like, I didn't know people actually did that, because I was like, this is dumb. You're gonna lose everything. Why would you do it? But then once I prestiged, and once I leveled up again and then do it again and again and again, you're like, oh, now I get it. So that's when I fell in love with prestiging. Still to this day, man, I remember going through those prestiges. I remember the night one a lot. I remember the demon hand or whatever it is. Like, those prestiges were just so good. Obviously I remember prestige 1. Prestige 1, I was actually running it for a decent amount of time in Black Ops 7 until I switched it around. I think the prestige icons for me are the ones that bring me the most nostalgia, because you just think about those times. Obviously weapons do too, once I learned them, of course. I'm not gonna remember every single weapon on the top of my head, but like the FAMAS, the Galil, the Commando was classic. Like, everything about that game just brings back so many memories. Like, even just walking on Summit, walking around in WMD, like the footstep sounds, the gun sounds, like having the suppressor on the Galil, having the suppressor on the Commando, having the red dot on the FAMAS, or running it with an iron sight or suppressor. Like, it was just so fun. I don't know why Call of Duties nowadays just don't feel like that. I feel like it's because, I mean, we don't have like the simplicity. Like, nowadays you have to run like 40,000 attachments to make a gun decent. Like, back in the day, all you needed was 1 or 2 attachments and you were done. I feel like they should bring that back, just the simplicity of the game. I feel like that's a big part that's missing. Apart from that though, obviously the graphics were like cool. I mean, I enjoyed the graphics. I don't really care about the newer games on how advanced graphics look, because at the end of the day, they would never replicate old CODs. Like, I feel like even old CODs now look better than newer CODs. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's really nostalgia. I don't know if it's because we're older. I don't know. They just don't give you that feeling nowadays. The one thing I do wish about old CODs, I wish I recorded a lot of the stuff, like even just on a phone or something, like on a small camera, just to have memories, like, or just even pictures, honestly. But I don't have any anything of old CODs. Like I did record videos a few years later, but even those videos I don't even have anymore. But I just wish I had those videos to show you guys. We can go ahead and talk about one of the best moments for me in Black Ops 1, and I remember it vividly. It was on S&D. I don't quite remember the map. I will throw up a screenshot of it, and it was on the second level of a building. It's like kind of like a control room, and then there's a room where you go in and there's a window you can head glitch out of. It wasn't in that room specifically. It was actually where the control part is, and I had a golden FAMAS with a suppressor and iron sight. It was a 1v2, and everybody was watching me. It was at the time where I was playing with my cousins and I think maybe a friend or two, and everybody was watching me. We were on split screen, by the way, because me and my brother used to share an Xbox, so I was split screening. I was always on the bottom of the screen, so I'm already handicapped by not being able to see a lot of the map. But I don't know how my little ass brain, my little ass hands had the reflexes to even do this, right? Like I said, I was in that little control room in the 2v1 situation. I was gonna get pinched. There was one guy coming up the stairs. Once again, I'll try to show this with screenshots of the maps. Hopefully there's screenshots out there of the locations I'm talking about. But there's a guy coming up the stairs where it leads to the room that I'm in, and there's another staircase where it's inside and it takes you to the second floor. There was one guy coming up that way and there was another guy coming up the other way, and I was gonna get pinched. So I was like, oh shit, I'm dead, right? In my head I started getting shot by one, so I reacted to the guy that went up the stairs, a mid-cut, I think you would call it nowadays, mid-cut stairs. There was a guy coming up that way, he was shooting me, and I turn around, shoot that guy, and then the next guy comes up, he starts shooting me, and I just somehow flicked and snapped to that guy, and I absolutely destroyed him. And that was to win the game, by the way. It wasn't like a round one, a round two. It was to win. I don't remember the score exactly, but it was definitely a win, because I remember we got off right after that game. We all decided just to call it off that one moment, and mind you, bro, I'm 8 years old doing shit like that, and everybody was amazed. Everybody was like, how the hell did you even do that? Like at that time, nobody has ever seen something like that in our group. I think there was like 3 players that were actually pretty good at the game, but that's like one of the greatest moments to ever happen in my Call of Duty career, I guess you can say. Like that was my first ever moment, and I will always remember it. Like I remember the map, I remember the gun, I remember the camo I was even using. Like it's insane, bro. The crazy thing is that it's not my favorite Call of Duty. I think most people do claim that their favorite Call of Duty is the first one they've ever played. Not me. My favorite Call of Duty is BO2, just because that game was just godlike, bro. I don't know what it is about it. It was just amazing. But Black Ops 1 is very, very close in being my favorite ever COD, because I'm pretty sure we had 74 days played, bro. Like that is absolutely insane. Like, but obviously remember, it was a shared account, so it wasn't just me doing all 74 days. Obviously I had some weird experiences that are just so nostalgic. I mean, if you guys want to as well and type out your story and your favorite experience on Call of Duty, go ahead and type it down in the comments. I would definitely read all of them. Like I love reading about people's experiences on old CODs and stuff like that, or just how they got into COD or anything like that. That's one of the crazy moments. Another crazy moment is obviously getting my first ever dogs, because there was obviously no nuke in that game. I don't remember that moment at all. I don't remember the gun or anything like that I was using. I don't even remember the map where I got my first dogs. Getting your first dog kill streak, it just felt like you were on cloud 9, bro. It felt like you were the best player of all time. Like nowadays you're like, bro, an 11 kill streak, like are we serious? But like back in the day, bro, it just felt so different. I guess I can talk about the camos I really loved using. Off the top of my head, I'm not gonna remember the names of the camos, and that's the thing. I used to use the ice camo a lot. I don't know if that's what it was called. I used to always use the red camo as well, and then obviously gold with the 50,000. That was just insane grinding for that. There used to be so many arguments about why did you buy gold on that fucking gun, because obviously you had to use that money to buy attachments and stuff like that, so it would take forever to get a 50k, and then you just, mind you, I'm a little ass kid, I'm out here spending 50k on gold when we need attachments on other guns, and then it would just kick off a huge argument. Those arguments today, you just look back at them and you're like, bro, what a time to be alive, man. While I'm here, I'm actually gonna pull up Black Ops 1 camos, and I actually want to see if I can remember which ones I used to use. Obviously, like I said, I've used gold, it is called ice, and then it is called the red camo. Okay, so that was basic. I used to use tiger a lot. That was a clean camo back in the day. I used to use it a lot on the Galil. I think most of the camos I used to use were always on the Galil. I don't know why. Every time I think about camo, I always think about the Galil. Apart from those little details of my moments on Black Ops 1, I don't really know what else to talk about. Like, I don't want to dig too deep on how the game was, the gunplay, and anything like like that. I mean, I guess I could say like some of my favorite maps. Like I definitely love Summit, obviously. That's a classic. Firing Range, Nuketown, WMD. Launch was an alright map. I wasn't a huge fan of it in S&D. On all the other modes, it was alright. Hotel was a good one. That was in one of the DLCs. Zombies was just a scary experience back in the day. Like I really do miss when Zombies was like that. Like Zombies used to induce fear into you, bro. Honestly, I don't even think it really mattered what age, unless you're like an adult. But like in the teens or even like before teens, like you would just get stupidly scared when you're like, I'm about to play some zombies, because the music, the way you load into zombies, the map, the actual zombie models, like those were just mad scary, bro. But I absolutely hated the zombies that did the gas. Like I hated those things, the crawling zombies. But I mean, I still love zombies, bro. It just gave you adrenaline when you played it. Obviously Kino, then you got Moon, you got all those types of maps, bro. I don't want to dig too deep because I didn't really play zombies like that in Black Ops 1. I played it more in BO2. Sorry, I was distracted for a little bit, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here for the first ever Yap session. If you guys do enjoy, let me know in the comments. I know it is very sloppy. Like I said earlier, it's not coming off a script or anything like that. I'm basically just speaking what comes to mind, so I do apologize if I'm jumping everywhere on the topic that I'm talking about. But I feel like it's just something cool you guys can throw up and just listen to if you're just looking to chill or relax or whatever. Hopefully they do become more organized over time when I do them. Apart from that though, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.